Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the month of June Veterans Whiskey Club live stream. Thanks for joining me. Oh, and let me fix my microphone. I think Mike might be acting up. Get your act together, Mike. Let's go. Come on. Hold on. I'm gonna move you a little bit too. You can see the board a little bit better. All right, so we got a full lineup of military topics to talk about today. The very, very busy month of June. Yesterday was the 81st anniversary of D-Day. Next Saturday is the 14th, which is Flag Day, but it is also the Army's 250th birthday, which there's going to be a big old parade in Washington, D.C., and we're going to get into that later. And if you are with us at the end of the live stream, I'm going to give away a flight of veteran-owned whiskeys. I said I was going to fix. We can hear you fine. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate you, Ron. Hear me fine. Fine and dandy. That's good. Glad to hear it. Sometimes when I start the show first with the video, sometimes the audio gets a little messed up. Let me drop the link because I am not here by myself, just like any soldier. You guys are more than welcome to jump on screen and join me. Here you go. Dropping the link in the chat. There we go. The link is dropped in the chat. Anybody can pull up a bar stool as if we're at the VFW. Grab yourself a drink, pull up a bar stool. Let's watch the TV together and see some war stories. Talk about some war heroes, some Medal of Honor recipients. Let's honor the fallen. And let's drink some veteran-owned whiskey. All right, so this is Old Lines. Come on, focus. Old Lines. All right, did I fix it? Are we good? We still live? Jerry's here. Troy and Laura are here. What is up with this view, though? There we go.
I was worried I broke it.
I thought you might have. Sometimes when you kick a door open too hard and like, here I am, like the place kind of shuts down for a minute. Like, slow down.
Yeah, that tracks.
What you're doing. All right, so like I said, the veteran whiskey of the month is Old Lines Sherry Finished American Single Malt. It is 100 proof. Old Line is two Navy vets that met up here in Washington State on Whidbey Island when they served together, and now they run a distillery in Baltimore. So cheers to you guys. That is a good bottle, Jerry.
Yep. I'm going to pour up some 13th Colony Wounded Warrior Project single barrel.
The Wounded Warrior Project, roger that. Eric Gunnarson's in the house. What's happening? Callie Scotty, Bourbon Neophyte. Good to see you, Anthony. Thanks for staying up late. I know it's late for you to stay up this late. Appreciate you. Mr. Mom's in the house. Bourbon is in the house. I know I missed a lot of you guys, and I apologize. Rye Guy's here. Gandy Road is here. Eric Gunderson. If anybody can do a 10-minute every 10 minutes, yell out, drink water. Beat the heat drills aren't. And make sure to remind ourselves to hydrate. Pour me a glass right quick. Dennis, I sent you a veteran whiskey flight. Did you get that yet, buddy? It's a good movie. Stay tuned. The stream will resume shortly. Like it. Hit the like. What's up, Vic? Good to see you. Cheers, sample guy Gandy. So Jerry Black is drinking a Salute bottle from Heritage. I had the veteran former Ranger on the channel to introduce that bottle. It's a fantastic bottle. Troy, you've got the Wounded Warrior edition bottle from 13th Colony.
Yes.
It's freaking awesome. That's some great veteran-owned whiskeys in the house. Oh, look at this guy.
What's up, people?
I identify as an attacker. I love the shirt, Sean.
Hell yeah, this is the most patriotic shirt that I own. So, yeah. I actually, didn't even plan this, Mark. I just happened to be wearing a lot of Army green. So,
Good.
My
So-
VFW shirt.
Oh, nice, Jerry.
there you go. Hell yeah, man. Cheers, fellas.
Shred's in the house. What's up, Shred?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Whole lot of good veteran whiskey getting drank right now. And
Dude, Jerry Black, what's up, brother?
Yeah, man.
What's up, Shred?
so what
Hell yeah, dude.
Troy, how you doing, brother? It's been a minute, man.
Yeah, I feel like it's been too long, buddy.
Yeah, I hear that. I mean, I've been kind of MIA on the whiskey tubes lately, so it's probably more my fault. But oh well, life be doing life stuff. So
Yeah. It's that time of year when people have like life to deal with, right?
yeah, lots of life happening.
all kinds of life stuff.
Yeah.
Stredward, Sean, do you guys have any veteran-owned whiskeys that you can grab a glass of, and we'll start learning some military history and heroes and all kinds of stuff like that?
I got this bullshit.
Well,
here.
so Mark, you're probably the go-to guy as far as knowledge of that kind of stuff. I may have some brands that are military owned that I don't know about. So maybe inform the crew.
I bet you that you have some Nashville Barrel Company.
I do. Yeah. Okay.
So
Maybe
one
that.
of the two founders of that, one of them was a submariner, or as our Army guys call it, a submariner.
Submariners call them submariners too.
Yeah. Also a great Iron Maiden song. So yeah.
That is a good song.
Love it.
That was Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner.
Oh yeah. I might be drunk, Troy. I can't promise.
Yeah.
Name of the ancient submariner.
Yeah.
Shredward, what's that middle guitar behind you there? I like it a lot.
That's my Ruger 1022 guitar
Yeah.
with the AR stock.
Yeah. Well, when he plays it, it sounds like freedom.
It does actually. It's a lot scarier than it looks, or it's a lot less scary than it looks. It is only a 22 though.
What? What?
And I'm drinking NA beer because I'm on the wagon, so I'm not going to be able to pour with you guys. But
That's all right.
anyway,
Mark,
Good for you, buddy.
any other companies actually, you know what? I've just I've identified a brand that I know is military owned, and that is Old Line. So
Yes. Well, that's the veteran whiskey of the month. Is their sherry finish?
I feel like I just got a sample of that today that I should probably grab.
Let me,
So,
I'll
I'll be right back.
Actually, you know what? I have an empty glass. So, how you been, Jerry? It's also been a minute since I've seen you, man.
Well, living the dream.
Yeah, that's it, man. Aren't we all?
I know I am.
Yeah.
Living retired life.
Nothing but dreams over here.
I'm retired, but I'm still working.
Well, how apropos. I am
Retired
pouring.
from Karen.
Well, what happened? Where did everybody go?
Hey,
What the Sam Heckery? Did somebody pull the fire alarm and all of us had to leave the building?
Boys
Hey,
have penis, girls have vagina.
oh, Bill's here too. Look at this. So we came back with even more.
Back there.
Even more cool people are here.
Cheers, fellas.
What's up, D?
How we doing, Bill?
Hey, what's up, Bill?
Doing good.
Well, so right as internet cut off us, I was just saying that I have the old line 21090 pick poured into my 21090 Glen. So how about that?
It's kind of gay.
You know what? Go fuck yourself, Ben.
Hey, you guys, knock it off. Yeah.
Apologies, Mark. Sorry.
All right. So, if you have a veteran-owned whiskey, grab a veteran-owned whiskey. The veteran-owned whiskey of the month is Old Line, the sherry finish, and we are going to raise a glass of our veteran whiskey of the month. Cheers! Thank you guys all for being here.
Yeah, man.
All right, so we've got the veteran-owned whiskey of the month. The next topic is honoring the fallen. And so every month I pour a shot from a special bottle to me, and we talk about people that are no longer with us. Everybody in the chat or on the panel, you're more than welcome to send a name. You can send me like not the real name, code name, just something. But if you have somebody in your life that passed away during the month of June, or they're no longer with us and their birthday was the month of June, I'd love to put them on the wall. I've got
Did we lose Mark again?
No,
I think so.
Here's what I'm going to while Mark's away, here's what I'm going to say, folks. I think more people need to sign up to Mark's Patreon. Well, let's get maybe we can get Mark some better internet. How about that?
Couldn't agree more.
Sounds good.
I think I love your name, Sean.
You know what? I forgot. Every time I hop on this platform, I forget that that's what my name is.
Uh-oh. What happened?
It keeps kicking everybody off.
Damn. I would like to get Bill's opinion on what we were talking about earlier on the other stream, but that can wait till later.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh goodness gracious!
Yeah, but someone in chat dropped the Patreon for Northwest Bourbon. You know, let's get Mark some Patreon sign up.
I appreciate you. Much appreciated.
Let me see if I can do a thing. Probably not. I'm terrible at this.
Share screen.
Nice, great shot.
Yeah.
So, you guys know Mr. Mom Orlando sent me a picture of his uncle, which is Donato Hasso, that he served and he's no longer with us. He passed away in the month of June. So I already got his name on the board. Orlando, thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, man.
Hold on.
That was his
His
father,
uncle.
you said? Uncle. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, cheers to your uncle, Orlando.
Yeah. Cheers, brother.
Inbox. I had. And Troy, I made a little collage here. So, do you want to do the honors and introduce us to your buddy?
Yeah. So,
Sorry.
it's all right. Tom Burkhart. This guy was my best friend. We went through nursing school together. We worked together. He was a Navy corpsman who was deployed with the Marines in Iraq. He ended up getting pancreatic cancer that was linked to the fire pits, and he passed away last June.
Damn, man.
Damn.
He, I'm a registered nurse. I work in a cancer center. I cared for him, and there's nothing more tear your heart out and stomp on it than caring for your best friend as he's dying.
Man.
Yeah.
Damn, brother.
My
Hey, well-
my best friend died from pancreatic cancer too, and it's hard because when he was close to death, he looked like an Auschwitz victim.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's pancreatic cancer is nasty. It's really bad.
Yeah.
Hey,
My
well,
dad passed away in 21.
Yeah. I almost called his widow earlier today and invited. I almost called her to invite her to this, but I don't know if I could have handled that.
I hear
hey, well,
Just
cheers.
last
Cheers,
year.
Troy. Yeah. And sorry about your loss and family's loss. That sucks, man. Yeah.
So this is the 1 year, Troy?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah. That sucks.
Yeah.
I appreciate you sharing, Troy.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. I overloaded your question. Mark, what was it for you? For the angel. Oh, you're talking about the poll. Father's West Point Army, father-in-law was Navy, both World War II. Roger that.
Yeah, sure. That's rough, man. It's a special thing, though, to be able to be there for them, though. To be able to fill that role. It's a blessing in a horrible disguise.
Yeah. So I was witness at his wedding. He was witness at my wedding. It's just a special bond we had. We didn't actually serve together. I was submarines. He was, like I said, deployed with the Marines. But we spent a lot of time in college and on the job as nurses together, and just a huge loss.
Yeah.
I'm so lucky that my friend that I served in the Air Force with, he's still my best friend, and he lives about 20 minutes from me. So I get to go see him occasionally, and we do a lot of stuff together. He was best man at my wedding. I was best man at his wedding, and it's great. We're still the best of friends, and it's good that I have him around still. You know.
Yeah.
Now, my best friend from the Air Force, no, not from the Air Force, sorry. My best friend in Kentucky that I grew up with, you know, he's the one that passed away from pancreatic cancer. And he was a great guy. He really was.
Great.
But pancreatic cancer is nasty and it's bad.
It's awful.
Yeah. It was. I really kind of. I'm a little bit annoyed still about that they had an open casket at his wedding, at his funeral. Sorry.
Same thing.
Yeah, kind of
Yeah.
sort of. But you know, because he was nothing. You know, when he passed, he was nothing like he was when he was alive. You know, and they shouldn't have done that, in my view. But that's just my view. You know?
I'm sure the family had the question posed to them. So
Yeah,
there must have been enough of the family members that wanted to have people be able to see him one last time or something.
I guess. But you know,
There's a Marine in the house. What's up, Paul? Good to see you, buddy.
Hey, what's the food? What's up, Paul? Cheers, buddy.
I appreciate all you guys sharing. If anybody else has somebody that they want to add on the board at any time throughout the live stream, just shout their name out and I'll put their name on the board right up here next to Thomas and
Hey, Mark.
Adam. Yeah.
I don't know if you want to talk about that thing going on with my uncle, or if you want to save that for when we have news. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Charles.
No. Not right
Anchored,
now. The what?
anchored genealogy.
Oh yes, the one you texted me about.
Yes.
That
Should we save?
No, go ahead.
So, well, it's not the month he fell or anything, but it's just
Right.
an amazing thing that's happened in the last week or so. For those who don't know, I've talked about him on these streams before. My great uncle, Harry Golden, was a Marine, and he was presumed killed in action, missing in action, in the Battle of Peleliu in World War II. His name is on the tablets of the lost in Manila. My grandfather was awarded the Purple Heart. He was awarded the Purple Heart posthumously. And my uncle and my mother got a phone call last week. And 100% we thought it was a scam until we found out it wasn't. The DOD and Marines have contracted a company called Anchor Genealogy.
My goodness. Kicked everybody out again and cut you off, Ben. I'm sorry, buddy.
Anchor genealogy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they are contracted to bring home the lost.
Okay.
And they were going through a site, and essentially a burial ground or a mass grave.
Yeah.
In the South Pacific, and they found my great uncle's dog tags.
Wow.
And so they've been saying they've been matching about 3 men a day to their families. My mother and my uncle both sent DNA samples. They did DNA swabs, and those are going to the military lab in Quantico.
Yep.
And they think they're going to match him, and if they do, they're going to bring him home and give him a burial with full honors.
Fantastic.
That could, they said once they match, it's weeks. So that could happen this June.
That's awesome. It's such a great mission that they came together with that in mind, and that's the mission that they're conducting to help bring those remains home. It's amazing.
So, and one of the ways we know these people are 100% legit is my mother's cousin lost her father in World War II and never knew what happened to him. He was missing. They never found out. So my mother said, "Do you know anything about this guy?" Since she was talking to them, they hit their databases, everything. They said, "Yeah, he's buried." They brought him home a year or two later. He's buried in Los Angeles.
Oh, wow.
My mother got in touch with her cousin. Her son lives in Los Angeles. The guy's father, who he's never met his father because he was killed he was missing and then found killed. Through this company, they gave him all the info, and this past weekend, he was able to be at his father's grave and have some closure for the first time in his life because of this company.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
That is super cool.
That's awesome.
I mean, so it's like it's something, it's built off of something awful, but it's something kind of uplifting after,
Yes.
hearing something, it's all based on something awful, and Troy having his horrible loss. It's a positive off a negative that I thought might be good to build on now because it is honoring the fallen.
Yeah, true.
In the biggest way, bringing them home. And I'm like, we're there. Like
just having that closure is.
Yeah. The thing that kills me inside is my grandfather, who literally carried his brother's picture in his wallet every day until he died at 93 years old. We don't get to see that closure. But I mean,
good night, Eric.
Everybody keep your fingers crossed that they actually find him.
Good night, Eric.
Cheers, Eric.
Cheers, Eric.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's got to be water time by now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
I don't think I have any water.
Thank you guys all for sharing. And so we talk about those who are no longer with us so that their names are not forgotten. And so raise your glass. Lest we forget, rest in peace. So Valhalla. Cheers.
Cheers.
Every month after we honor the fallen, we acknowledge that a lot of our fallen brothers fell by their own hands.
True that.
And they say on average it's 22 a day.
Yeah, man.
Also, June is Men's Mental Health Month, and which doesn't get talked about enough. So we are going to do 22 push-ups. All of you that are willing and able to participate, do 22. Troy, we are at 30 now?
31.
31. That's what I said. All right.
I'm pushing up still over 300. I'm giving you the 22.
All right, you know what? I'm probably too drunk to even attempt this. I'll try. I'll see how far I can get, Mark.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Feeling good in the neighborhood. Back. All of you guys in chat, thanks for being here. And like I said in the beginning, stick around at the end of the stream. I'm going to do a wheel for all the people still here watching. and give away a flight of veteran-owned whiskeys. So stick around. All right, with honoring the fallen and getting into military news, every month I show you guys a Medal of Honor recipient from each major war that the actions took place in this current month. So in the month of June, we're going to start with World War II like usual.
That's getting to be a lot for this fat old man.
You're not kidding, Troy.
I agree, Troy. 100% agree.
I need to do push-ups more often is what I'm finding out.
In September, my brother was talking about joining the service because they were starting up the selective service system. And he said he didn't want to be drafted, so he's going to go down and enlist in the military service. I said, well, I'm going to go with you. We had a pact. We knew that when we were in combat, both of us had to keep on fighting regardless of what happened to one or the other. And we had a pact that we would forgive the other if we're not stopping to help him because he had to keep on fighting.
In November of 1942, the USS Juno was sunk by a Japanese torpedo during operations near the island of Guadalcanal. 5 brothers, the Sullivans, were tragically killed in the accident. As a result of the incident, General Marshall issued an executive order that brothers were not to serve together in intensive combat conditions. But it was not to be so for Walter and Roland Ehlers, who, though placed in different fighting units, both found themselves heading for
Well,
This internet's
Damn.
not happening tonight, man.
5 brothers.
yeah, that's friggin' rough.
Yeah. They were from Waterloo, Iowa.
Damn.
It's what they were about to get into. I know Saving Private Ryan was based on real events. Is that what they were about to get into, Troy? I feel like. Can anybody hear me?
Yeah.
Where you're supposed to go from here. He says, follow that path there. If you go to the right or left of it, you'll step on mines. It didn't go all the way. It had a row of wire in front of us. And there were 2 Bangalore torpedo men who were laying in kind of a deflated area. Snipers were firing at them. And we asked them to blow the wire for us. They told us they were pinned down. And we said, well, we'll fire up in the trenches. So we did. One torpedo man grabbed the torpedo and blew the wire, and as soon as the wire was breached, and we rushed through, but we got up into the trenches and we ran the Germans out of the trenches there, and they started retreating back, and the trenches, by the way, connected up to the pillboxes, and so we got behind. Perimeter of our positions that we had, and command came down that I was supposed to take a patrol and follow them. So we followed them, and we could hear them. And I heard this firing going on the hedgerow, and the hedgerows go along like this, and they're all squares. I'm leading the squad, and I take off up this hedgerow, and I come upon an enemy patrol. Well, they're about from here to the camera from me with their guns pointed at me, and I just shot them. I shot all 4 of them. And then I went on up the hedgerow because I heard a machine gun up there firing at our troops that were starting to cross the field again. When I went up there, I came upon the machine gun, but then the guy didn't see me. I just shot them both. When they fired on us, the bullet went across my helmet right up there and spun my helmet on my head just a bit, and I felt the danger. We were drawing fire from 3 sides. I stood up to fire in a semicircle, and my automatic rifleman came up and he started firing too. When all the squad withdrew, then he and I turned to go back. He immediately got hit in the back, and I was down a ways ahead of him. I saw a machine gun going in position down there, and I was trying to knock it out. Then I got hit, and it spun me around. And as I come around, I see a German in the hedgerow, and I shot him. And then I saw the automatic rifleman laying there, so I got up and picked him up and carried him back, and they were still shooting at me, but they missed me.
Even after being treated at an aid station, Ehlers insisted on returning to the battlefield to lead his squad. But it was not until a month after the Normandy invasion that he would learn fully what had happened that day.
Just before we got relieved off the front line there, my brother was officially listed as killed on D-Day. His company commander came over and he told me that my brother had a direct hit on the ramp, which his whole squad was on when they were coming down. And I knew all of those men in that company, and that broke me up then. But I just had to turn around and leave, go back to the building that we were staying in there, and laid down and cried my head out. We call ourselves recipients, and people call us winners, and you see, we're not winners because we weren't in a competition for trying to win anything. We happen to be recognized by our fellow men, and so we wear this medal to honor them and to honor the guys who really paid the supreme sacrifice, because we are here today because of them. I consider my brother a hero because he paid the supreme sacrifice. And so after it was all over, I came back to my senses, knew what I had to do, and keep on fighting.
Oh, goodness. Lost everybody again. I'm telling you. Sorry about that, guys. Having a heck of a time with that tonight.
You're good, Mark. That was
thank you for your service. Yeah. So that was like the true story of Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, man.
And that happened in this month of June in World War II. Great story. Great dude. If you guys have anything else that you want to say about that video before we move on to the next one.
Corporal Charles Gene A.
No.
Well, I mean, yeah.
No, you're good.
It's rough, man. It's rough. That's a rough watch.
It's kind of what he said. It's like, I mean, all joking aside, it's one of those things like I was talking about my uncle, you know, my great uncle earlier. They didn't send my grandpa home.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was in Okinawa when he found out.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, I think the part where he said something, I'm probably not going to quote him correctly, but where he said something akin to then a competition anyone was trying to win, talking about medals. Yeah.
I've said that before on here. If somebody has a silver star or higher, it means they had like the worst day of their life and probably lost a lot of friends. It's not something they're going to look back happy about.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to be proud or whatever, but it's not fun. This was huge in England, Scotland, Ireland. Whole countrysides of men were cut down all at once. Devastated regiments for reason. Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you for your service. Appreciate you, fishing, Doc.
Yeah, cheers, Doc.
And so speaking of, I'm not on Wi-Fi. I'm directly plugged in, but I'm on the opposite side of the house, and I ran the line through the attic, and so this is a 100-foot long internet cord, and so I think I might need a booster or something because I don't know if my router.
Nah, you're fine.
And maybe the rats have gotten to it or something.
That's possible. Could it be a corner where it's been wearing or something chewed on it? That's possible.
Okay.
Yeah, rat, squirrels, mice.
This is a 100-foot line plugged directly into the modem.
Yeah, 100 foot is well within spec.
Okay, so because I'm like,
as somebody who knows the specs, yes.
Yeah, that's why I asked you, because I'm like, I'm directly plugged in. Why do the internet keeps flagging today?
I will.
Are you cable or fiber?
Coming into the house is fiber.
And you're dropping out? That's weird.
So it's only here, like at my desk. Where
we'll talk about it. We'll figure it out, but not on the live stream.
So real quick, and we can talk about it later. But Mark, what is your grade of Ethernet cable? Because I upgraded mine to the best I could get, and that made a huge difference. I didn't think it would, but a friend of mine suggested that, and
okay, I'll look in because I ordered this 100-foot line on Amazon. I don't remember if I think it's 5.
Just send me the link, and I'll tell you if you should probably replace it or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's. So for Korea, I found 2 Medal of Honor recipients for the month of Korea very quickly, and this first one is a very short video, and he was KIA, and so I included the second video today, even though I usually only do one per major conflict. But since this one was KIA, the other guy is still alive, and so he gets to tell his story like usual. And so we get 2 from Korea today.
Corporal Charles Gene Abril was a United States Marine who earned the Medal of Honor when he selflessly sacrificed himself in the Korean War. Born in Terre Haute, Indiana, 1931, he attended school in Las Vegas, eventually enlisting in the Marine Corps at the age of 17. Following recruit training at MCRD Paris Island, he was assigned to Camp Lejeune before going on to serve on the USS Noble, a Haskell-class attack transport, which entered service during World War II. She assisted in the delivery of released Allied prisoners of war from Korea to the Philippines, also participating in Operation Magic Carpet, returning servicemen from the Pacific back to the United States. When the Korean War broke out, Noble returned to San Diego and underwent an overhaul, where she would go on to participate in the Incheon amphibious assault. Corporal Abril would also be deployed to Korea with the 1st Marine Division in the same amphibious landing. He was among some 75,000 troops that made landfall at Incheon, which led to the recapture of the South Korean capital of Seoul.
The island was defended by about 400 soldiers of the 18th North Korean Division, but with the air and naval bombardment, as well as close ground support by the 1st Marine Air Wing, only sporadic resistance was encountered. Communist troops, in a state of shock, surrendered after only light opposition. By the morning of 16 September, Incheon had been taken against light resistance. While the 1st Korean Marine Regiment cleared the city, the United States 1st Marine Division started toward the Han River, and beyond it, the former South Korean capital of Seoul.
He went on to see action at the blockade of Wonsan, Chosin Reservoir, and the Hungnam evacuation, before meeting his end at the Battle of Hwacheon, where the 1st Marine Division successfully defended their positions.
The UN counterattackers launched immediately, driving the communists in full retreat. By the beginning of June, the pursuit, spearheaded by armored columns, has carried the Allies across the 38th parallel into North Korea, where the enemy braces and halts their retreat, forming a defense triangle anchored at Chorwon, Kumhwa, and Pyongyang.
Corporal Abril was serving as a fire team leader in Company E, leading his men in an assault against an enemy bunker on a hill. While advancing with his platoon against this well-concealed and heavily fortified enemy position, Corporal Abril voluntarily rushed forward through the assaulting squad, which was pinned down by a hail of accurate and intense enemy fire. The bunker held a position on commanding ground, and although previously wounded by enemy hand grenade fragments, Abril proceeded to carry out a bold, single-handed attack against this bunker, exhorting his comrades to follow him. Sustaining 2 additional wounds as he stormed toward the enemy emplacement, he resolutely pulled the pin from a hand grenade clutched in his hand and hurled his entire body with the armed grenade into the bunker. The resulting explosion fatally wounded him, but also took the entire enemy gun crew with him. It is for this selfless, brave act that he was awarded our country's highest honor, the Congressional Medal of Honor. His superb, courageous, and heroic initiative sustained and enhanced the highest traditions of the U.S. Naval Service. He gallantly gave his life for his country. Corporal Abril's remains now rest in the West Lawn Cemetery in Farmersburg, Indiana. There is also a bridge on the north side of Terre Haute, Indiana, named in his honor, and a memorial statue at the Vigo County Courthouse.
Wow. So,
Yeah,
after he got shot a bunch of times and was wounded, he made it through multiple huge battles. And then he pulled the pin on a grenade and dove into an enemy bunker to take out their machine gunners.
Freaking legend, man. Yeah.
Dude.
That's, yeah.
He's like, so you know what?
You're muted, bro.
That's an intense story, man. Like, that's...
Mark, you have people who want to join, and the link isn't pinned.
Link not pinned.
Like, high level of heroicism.
Yeah.
Like, high level.
Let's see if we can fix that link pin and stuff.
Yep, there you go.
Pin that message. Pin that message. Let's take a look at the poll. Holy moly, Navy and Marines is leading so far tonight. Usually Army takes it from the get. Army Coast Guard is at 29%. Navy and Marines is at 38%. Air Force Space Force is at 24%. And other countries' military is at 9%. Thank you guys for voting. If you haven't voted, drop a vote in the poll. Got a bunch of votes so far. Thank you guys for participating. Those are crazy numbers. Almost every month, the Army is just steamrolling it, but not tonight. You Navy and Marines, you showed up in force tonight. William Hall's in the house. 19 years, that man was stone cold. Yeah, for reals. Probably a good time to hydrate. Yeah, after you're there. All right, so all you that are in the chat that I haven't said hi to yet, James Morgan watching from across the pond. Appreciate you being here, buddy. I know I saw Marvin from Whiskey Wine 101 in the house. Pappy Van Brubaker Maker.
That's Ernie Brubaker.
Oh, okay. I was like, what the?
He's a grandpa now, so he's Pappy Van Brubaker Maker.
Well, that makes sense. And there's
he made more Brubakers, and now he's Pappy.
Army goes first, so the Marines can clean up. What's up, JD? Good to see you, buddy. JD, I was just talking to Troy earlier today, and since you were there, do you remember what type of barrel the Dickel at Doc Swinson's was in, because it made the Dickel actually taste good? So if you remember, because Jesse had us try some Dickel, but it tasted great because of whatever he was doing to it, whatever he blended it with, and whatever kind of barrel it was. I was just asking if you remember that, because I was talking to Troy about it earlier today.
Yeah, cheers, Richie Z. Appreciate you, buddy.
Richie Z is in the house. What's up, Richie?
Yep.
Good to see you, buddy.
Cheers, Richie.
All right, so we have one more Korean War Medal of Honor recipient, and kind of like what Ben was talking about earlier. My stepdad, his brother was in Korea. He got killed, and they got notified, and they did not receive his remains for 4 years after learning that he had gotten killed. And so he was telling me about how hard that was for them and their family.
I gotta say, Mark, these stories are going pretty hard in the paint, man.
Oh, dude, June definitely brings it. And there's some great stories out there that just you don't hear about.
Yeah.
I was born in Marshall County, and I was 6 months old. My family moved to Alabama City there because that's where the cotton mill was. And my mother and father went to work in a cotton mill, and I was a little fella. But ever since I was a real small individual, I wanted to be a soldier. I'd take all the tests and everything else and pass them, and then they'd come back, I didn't weigh enough, I wasn't old enough. So I finally got after a few months at that, I got the pastor of 12th Street Baptist Church. My mother signed affidavits how old I was because we had no birth certificates. Gunnersville, Alabama, where I was born in Marshall County, was destroyed by a tornado back in the early 30s, and all the records were gone. So after going through all this process, they finally let me in.
Ola Mize enlisted in the Army in April of 1950. Lured by an additional $50 a month to jump out of aircraft, he became a member of the 82nd Airborne. Mize was just finishing his tour when the Korean War broke out, so he re-enlisted and volunteered for the front lines. On June 15, 1953, Mize was serving on the main line, where he was responsible for the defense of a position called Outpost Harry. His orders were to hold it at all costs.
During our first few days up on Harry, at night we kept seeing trucks coming up behind the mountains in front of us. I kept begging for artillery, airstrike or something that they was building up so in front of us. They kept telling me that they're only resupplying their troops like we'd resupply ours. And there ain't no way in hell we'd ever resupply ours with bunking trucks up, lights on and everything else. And I said, well, if they're only resupplying the people they've got here, they must have a whole Chinese army in front of us because there's 20, 40, 50, 100 trucks a night coming in for 5 straight days. At night, when I'd go around checking our platoon and to make sure that it's at least 50% alert. I got back and I got a call from the weapons squad leader that something was wrong out in front of his position. He couldn't figure out what it was. I got over there and I said, what's wrong? He said, well, there's something wrong with the terrain out in front of us. Well, I climbed up there looking over the trench line, and it was within 10 yards of our trenches. Bushes all over the place. Well, the first thing I said, where the hell all them bushes come from? About that time, a few of them moved. I just automatically started spraying the hell out of it. All them bushes. There's bodies falling all over the place there. Well, about that time, they kicked off the artillery on us. I mean, they opened up, I thought the end of the world was coming. I started sandbagging everybody in. Well, as I was putting the sandbags in, the artillery round hit right behind me. And I thought I'd blow it all to pieces. It drove me into the timbers at the bunker. When I got my conscience back, my medic, there was about 6 on top of him, and they killed him before I could get to him. But I done them the same thing. As I went by the heavy machine gun position, I heard a movement. I said, who is in there? And it was my BAR man, him and his assistant. So I said, what in the devil are you doing in there? You're supposed to be down in that bunker in your position down there. They was up at the standoff, just getting some air because it's hot that time of year. When all the artillery hit and it scared them to death, they jumped in that bunker and they lost their weapons and everything. They didn't have a weapon. Well, there ain't no time to chastise people on the circumstance. So I told them, I said, here's my empty magazine. Start loading them things. You got a case of carbine ammunition. And about that time, they started pouring over the trench lines. For the next 2 hours, all I was doing was just shooting Chinese as fast as they come over that trench line. We'd filling the trench up with them, and the 2 guys there was recharging my magazine. Well, I told them to come on with me, and we climbed over the stuff, and just as we get into the platoon command bunker, there was one of my BAR men fighting with 6 Chinese, and he had it by the butt, with a tripod stuck out, swinging at him. They had bandoliers hanging all over him, and these Chinese was trying to capture him. And I shot them. I said, why in the world you're not using that BAR right? It's a lot better if you load your magazines and shoot that thing rather than try to use it as a club. He said, I can't. I said, what, you got all that? He said, that's carbine ammunition. I said, you're stupid. I said, the only thing that comes in bandoliers is M1, 8-round clip. Carbine ammunition comes in cartons, like I've talked to you people. Well, I was wrong. Nobody had told us about the new 10-round clip of carbine ammunition. And I started checking my bed, and all of them had carbine ammunition with M1 rifle or BAR. And boy, I was hostile.
With all of the company's officers dead or wounded, Mize worked frantically to establish a defensive perimeter. He then assembled a patrol that moved from bunker to bunker, making their force look larger than it was. At one point, seeing an enemy soldier taking dead aim at a comrade, Mize dispatched the man with one shot. Although he was struck by artillery and grenade blasts 3 times, he managed to escape serious harm and continued to fight. Mize was eventually able to secure a radio and call in airstrikes, which exacted a devastating toll on the enemy.
I didn't know how I looked. My clothes were blowed off and my face was all black and burnt from where I'd been burnt from flash, and mouth, sand in our mouth because we didn't have no water or anything like that. And you'd try to rake it out, and I couldn't spit when my life depended on it. As I got down to the MLR, they told me, said, soldier, you're going the wrong way. And I said, no, sir, I'm not. They said, who are you? And I said, I'm Sergeant Mize. They said, no, you're not. Sergeant Mize is dead. I said, I hope not, sir. I'm standing talking to you. And I didn't know how I looked. I couldn't recognize myself either. President Eisenhower ordered me back to the States to receive the medal. Got it September 7th, 1954.
High quality H2O.
I was scared to death. Here, a little country boy from northeast Alabama, redneck, meeting the President of the United States. It was unreal. And he stood there and talked to me. He put the medal around my neck. And he seen how nervous I was. And he told me, he said, I would be too. If I was as young as you was, looking old crow like it, I just broke the ice. I made myself a promise over there, if I stayed in the military or had any kind of authority, what happened to me on Outpost Harry and my people, that's the way I look at my people, because I was the one taking care of them. It would never happen again. I didn't care what happened to me personally. I come from the old school. If you can take all the principles of leadership and traits and put them under one thing, it's called custodian and men's welfare. You can put everything under that umbrella. Yeah, I've lived with that cold. Cost me a lot of heartaches, but these worth it, every bit of it.
Oh my goodness, I love that guy.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
That interview was not safe for CNN.
Are you stupid?
That was great,
the part of it reminded me of Gran Torino when he's like, "We used to stack bodies of people like you in Korea using as sandbags." Because he's pulling night watch. He said all of a sudden there's a bunch of bushes, right? Probably they had some stuff in their helmet or whatever, and then he saw him moving, so he just started spraying them down. Now what I'm getting at is if I went back and tried to count, I couldn't count how many people this guy killed, right? Because he was like, they started jumping over, all this stuff was happening. He saw about 6 guys on his medic, and they killed his medic, but then he did the same to them. So he killed those 6 dudes after he was spraying at the line of them. And then he was shooting them. Then he had the people that jumped in the bunker start refilling mags for him. And then they got attacked, and he said he was swinging the bar at him. And he's like, why don't you shoot him with it? That's smarter. And there was like 5 or 6 of them on them, and so he killed all those guys and blah, blah, blah. And he's talking about the guys jumping over, and so they start stacking the bodies. And I was just like, how many people has this guy killed so far? Like, I lost count.
Countless.
Yeah.
Dude, that dude was hilarious. I want to sit down and have a beer with that guy. I just checked, and few were finished in sherry casks. Okay. Yeah, I just want to see what it was that made that dick taste good. What up, Z-Man? Good to see you, buddy. 5 feet high, like sandbags. Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Cheers, fellas.
Cheers, Z-Man. Thanks for
Hey, what's up, Z?
Z-Man.
Stopping by.
Z, you're right in time because I'm just about to switch to water. Give me a second.
Yeah. Your water and my water.
Your water is his Busch Light.
Z-Man, you got here just in time to talk about Medal of Honor recipient from June in Vietnam.
That's cool,
Cheers, DC.
Cheers, brother.
Childhood was interesting in the fact that we were what they call today migrant farm workers. A lot of people thought that was a very, very strenuous life for kids, but it taught me a lot of values. Talking to my mother actually yesterday, just before coming up here, and she always begrudges the fact that we had to travel like that and do all the work we did. And I hug her and kiss her and say, it's probably the best thing that ever happened to me in my life, was the fact that I learned at a very early age to work with people, to understand that a good day's work, there's nothing bad wrong with it.
Ronald Ray left high school in 1959 to enlist in the Army. After serving a 3-year tour, he re-enlisted to become a member of the U.S. Army Special Forces. By June of 1966, Ray was in charge of a platoon with the 35th Infantry, operating in the Ia Valley. They were part of a larger operation intended to stop the North Vietnamese from entering Vietnam from Cambodia.
And basically what we were trying to do is set listening posts and outposts along the Cambodian border to monitor infiltration of North Vietnamese troops into the central highlands of Vietnam. And so I had set up about 3 listening posts along my sector. We went out on patrol one day and we captured one guy and I had to shoot another one. I never forget when I went over and rolled his body over and started searching the body to see what was on it. There was only one thing in his whole body, and that was a little fold out, like a little billfold. And on one side of it was a picture of a lady. On the other side was a picture of a kid. And that to me brought back to me what war is all about. I mean, it's actually, and that's something we all have to think about as individuals in life, is that the fact is, war is an inhumane act. And it takes the lives of the most precious asset. And that's our young. After about the third or fourth day, we discovered a number of large trails being cut within my sector. I had the suspicion, being an old country boy, that there was something going to happen in my sector, and I kept telling the company commander, who was in the lower part of the I drain, and he was totally convinced, no, it wasn't going to happen where I was at, it was going to happen where he was at, like he had did the year before in '65. So what I did do, though, I beefed up one listening post where the big trails were being cut along the stream bed and trail crossings. And I sent out a patrol that went along that area, and I told the patrol to stay there with that listening post that day. I just felt something was going to happen. And sure enough, that outpost got surrounded. I got a call saying we're pinned down and we can't break contact. So I had a decision. I called my company commander, called everybody, said I need reinforcements. They still said it's just a minor probe. I said, no, I don't think it is. It's a big push, and I'm going to get my troops. Then we took off through the jungle, heading toward the location. We had to fight our way into them. And so we broke through the lines, got to my unit that was surrounded. Sure enough, I had one guy hit in the head. Vincent Mueller was shot in the head. We were trying to do something with him. And by that time, we had a machine gun or two putting a lot of directed fire on us. And I tried to get a squad to move in to knock out the machine gun. And the guys moved in and got pinned down. Only thing to do then was somebody had to get rid of the machine gun before I started killing all my troops. So I moved forward and knocked out the machine gun and 4 or 5 people with a shotgun and some grenades.
Or with a shotgun?
Moments later,
Heck yeah.
several of Ray's comrades were trying to evacuate the wounded when they, too, got pinned down. Ray went to their rescue, killing the attacking enemy, but not before they shot him in the legs.
And just turned around at that time, and I still was able to move. And they lobbed another grenade in next to 2 of my individuals, my radio operator and Vincent. And I yelled at them and yelled, but they didn't move. So I was already hit, so I dove in between, covered their bodies, and then I got some more grenades in the legs.
Oh, goodness.
There was no question to me, and never has been. My life was not near as worth as any one of those. If there had to be someone to die that day, it was going to be me, not them.
Damn.
Still receiving fire from one area. Pulled myself over and took the last 2 grenades I got and threw in on those guys and got rid of them. Then it was something else. Just totally peace. Not one shot. Couldn't hear anything. And there we were. Everything just seemed to stop. So it started picking up, and I realized then I couldn't move. My legs were, I was paralyzed from waist down. So I said, okay, this is no problem. I said, you guys get everything up, get out, leave me the shotgun and 2 things, and get going. And so they all started packing up, and never forget, they all get up and they start running, finally started running. He said, what are you saying? I said, get on out of here. He said, what do you mean get out of here? I said, I'll cover you, just get out of here, don't worry about it. He said, no, sir, I'm taking you with me. He said, okay, we're the last 2 out. So everybody took out and picked me up and put me across the shoulder. And
oh, wow.
Pretty neat.
You mean Richard Nixon?
Troops on the ground wanted me to get the highest award. Presented by President Nixon. It was a moving ceremony, it really was. It was definitely one of the top events in my life. But the truth of it is, it was being able to be honored by my country for doing what I should do. I didn't do anything more than what everybody should do. I mean, if you're a leader and you're entrusted with the leadership of human beings and so forth, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to lead them the best you can, fight the battle the best you can, but you should protect them the best you can. And that's all I did, is protect my troops.
Where is it? Hold on. Oh my goodness. So he is a nut. He's got a machine gun position firing at his troops, and so he flanks them, and he takes out a machine gun nest with a shotgun and some grenades.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And then after he gets shot in both of his legs, he sees a grenade laying by his guys, and he tries to yell at them, and then he jumps on it and gets paralyzed from the waist down. And then he pulls a total, like, wasn't it Aliens? Like, give me, just go. And he, like, I'll cover you. And, like, he's going to stay there and just shoot out the bad guys while the other people get away.
I'm just saying, Mark, that guy, he's the one dude who probably splashes down more than you do.
That's so stupid. Oh, goodness. Let's see. JD. Hold on. I checked the ones that I have. No, I'm talking about at Doc Swinson's. He had one in a barrel that we tried it out of the barrel. So it's not one that had been bottled before. Finished in rum. 4 different. Oh, and that some was in sherry. Okay, so you're just talking about comparatively. Thank you for what you're doing. Appreciate you, right guy. Might come out of retirement and head to Oman next.
Oh shit,
dude, that.
Damn, JD.
Yeah, that'd be crazy, dude. The ammo discipline everybody has to contend with in combat is unreal from my civilian eyes. Yeah, because if say on your vest or in your bandolier or whatever, say you've got like 7 magazines where you got like 210 rounds. It's crazy how fast those go in a firefight. After like 5 minutes, you're like, I'm out of ammo. Because you're like reload, and you're reloading like every 30 seconds because if you're getting actively engaged, the way to win a firefight is to have superiority of fire. You are putting more bullets towards them than they are putting towards you. That's how you win a firefight. And bullets go fast. You know what I mean? And so yeah, dude, ammo discipline is a real thing that you have to consider when you're getting fired at, because you have to know, do I have enough backup to just go ham on this machine gun, or do I have to be kind of conservative and do 5 to 7 round bursts instead of just mowing and walking it in? Those are real things you got to think about.
Yeah, man.
I don't even know how you would do
that. Discipline and training, like.
So they actually train you to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm up. They see me, I'm down. We do some live fire exercises before we deploy each time to practice these kind of things.
Yeah,
Well,
muscle memory.
I've done a lot of live fire.
Right, Jerry Black, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
But never like that. That's off the chain.
Well, because you went out there to be out there all day, and so you start getting shot at. Cool. If you kill those guys or they run away, cool story. But an hour later, what if you get contact again? Do you have more ammo in the truck? You fucking better.
The only live fire that we would do is.
Hey, Rye guy's giving the hydration timer. Cheers, Rye guy.
Appreciate it.
We would do the live fire, and then there'd be a flashback that would come in the middle of it. So you're like, what the fuck?
Appreciate you, Rye guy.
He's pitching in for Eric tonight.
I appreciate you subbing in for Eric. I got a couple from the Global War on Terrorism to share with you guys.
Copy.
President Obama awarded the Medal of Honor today to a 28-year-old who performed heroically and at times single-handedly in a battle that was not only one of the deadliest of the Afghanistan war, but also, as it turned out, one of the most investigated.
One of the most investigated
Afghanistan's
battles.
eastern provinces had long been the scene of fierce fighting with the Taliban, when in July 2008, the Army's 2nd Platoon Chosen Company of the 173rd Airborne Brigade Combat Team was assigned to set up a new outpost in the village of Wanat. Sergeant Ryan Pitts, then 22 years old and nearing the end of his second tour in the country, had already seen a lot of combat when his team started the operation.
This was in the valley, very close to the village, basically kind of integrated among the village, somewhat by the river. It was in the low ground, but there's always a balance between accessibility and security that we try to strike in terms of being able to support and reinforce and get supplies via ground.
You and your unit feel extra vulnerability because of where you were.
Our entire battalion had been facing enemy attacks all year long for that entire deployment, so I don't think I certainly didn't feel any more vulnerable there than I did at any other point in my deployment.
On a ridge to the east of the main base, Sergeant Pitts and others manned a surveillance system, seen here in a photo taken on July 12th. Just after 4 the next morning, their situation took a dramatic turn.
Started with a machine gun burst from the north, and they had moved in with approximately 200 fighters.
200?
Element of surprise had us surrounded and initiated a large-scale attack on us. We had about 48 Americans on the ground, as well as a platoon, 20 to 30 Afghan National Army soldiers.
Grenade shrapnel hit Sergeant Pitts in both legs and his left arm, but he and his fellow soldiers fought on.
The valor was everywhere. I mean, it was incredible to see these guys. I mean, we were all young, and everybody just doing their jobs without anybody having to be told, and just trusting in one another that we would do our jobs.
For much of the next 90 minutes, Pitts alone lobbed hand grenades, fired a machine gun and grenade launcher, before being airlifted out by a medevac helicopter. Pitts also relayed vital information to headquarters throughout the attack, allowing reinforcements and airstrikes to come in. Cameras on arriving helicopters captured the scene on the ground, burning structures dotting the landscape as pilots fired on enemy targets. The fighting raged on for several more hours before the area was finally secured. In the end, 9 soldiers were killed and 27 others wounded in the deadliest single fight yet of the Afghan war. An Army investigation followed, standard procedure with any battle. No wrongdoing was uncovered. But because of the high casualty count and pressure from family members of the fallen, in 2009, General David Petraeus, then head of U.S. Central Command, ordered a separate investigation.
General Petraeus is
a
stud.
Central Command concluded that commanders at the battalion, company, and brigade level were neglectful and derelict in their duty in the planning and execution of the operation. Initially, the 3 officers were issued letters of reprimand. But several months later, after appeals by members of the unit, including Sergeant Pitts, the Army announced the reprimands were withdrawn. Throughout that process, Sergeant Pitts defended the actions of his superiors.
I think a lot of that attention came about from not all facts coming out initially, of understanding there's a lot that went into our battle space that led commanders to make the decisions that they did. We had a certain amount of resources. We were trying to set up the next unit for success. I have complete confidence in my command teams. I would still serve them. I'd follow them anywhere.
Pitts, by now a staff sergeant, was medically discharged from the Army following his recovery at Walter Reed Army Medical Center. Today, at the White House, he became the 9th living recipient of the Medal of Honor for actions in Iraq or Afghanistan. President Obama praised Pitts' courage and referred to lessons learned at Wanat.
This is the story Ryan wants us to remember. Soldiers who loved each other like brothers and who fought for each other, and families who've made a sacrifice that our nation must never forget.
Yes, sir.
Ryan says, I think we owe it to them to live lives worthy of their sacrifice.
Mm.
And he's absolutely right. As Commander-in-Chief, I believe one of the ways we can do that is by heeding the lessons of Whatnot. When this nation sends our troops into harm's way, they deserve a sound strategy and a well-defined mission, and they deserve the forces and support to get the job done. And that's what we owe soldiers like Ryan and all the comrades that were lost.
Do you think all this has changed you as a person? What has it meant to you? I think in terms of how you live your life.
The biggest change is not necessarily in me as a person, but the appreciation that I have for life. A lot of men sacrificed a lot that day, so the rest of us could come home. Specialist Sergio Bad, Corporal Jonathan Ayers, Corporal Jason Bogar, First Lieutenant Jonathan Brostrom, Sergeant Israel Garcia, Corporal Jason Hovager, Corporal Matthew Phillips, Corporal Pruitt Rainey, Corporal Gunner Will. They made the ultimate sacrifice so the rest of us could come home. And they gave us all a second chance. And I have an appreciation of life that I didn't have before. And I'm not going to waste it.
Pitts graduated from college, now works for the Oracle Corporation, and lives in Nashua, New Hampshire, with his wife Amy and their young son Lucas.
Oh my goodness.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Damn.
Man, Mark, you're
I mean, I'll tear you out watching that.
Raised under Montana. All right, I got a very, very quick one from a Medal of Honor recipient from Iraq. Very, very short video, but tells the story real quick. Let me see if I'm.
Raised under Montana big skies, Army Staff Sergeant Travis Atkins was born to be a soldier.
He was dedicated to being an infantry soldier.
He fought in the 2003 Iraq invasion, came home, went to college, but it wasn't enough.
He realized that the Army was his calling.
He deployed back to Iraq, this time supporting the Army's elite Delta Force. On June 1st, 2007, Staff Sergeant Atkins spotted two insurgents wearing explosive vests. With his bare hands, he pinned one to the ground, absorbing the blast. Sergeant Atkins lost his life, but saved three others. His son Trevor was just 11 years old.
My dad did something great, it's not that he's gone, he did something fantastic and it needs to be remembered.
And today, he was getting the nation's highest honor for his ultimate sacrifice.
All right, so
God damn.
I've just got to elaborate on that a little bit because imagine you're there, trained and ready, and you see a guy with a legit suicide vest on. And out of all the other things that you could have done, like run away, he goes and tackles this guy and holds him to the ground and takes all of the blast.
Yeah.
So that nobody else gets hurt.
That's insane.
That's a man.
That's a man's man. That's like,
dude, that was crazy sauce. Sees a guy with a suicide vest, so you tackle him?
Yeah, I'd like to believe that I would, not run and try to take him out, but like to just throw your shoulder into him and
9.9 out of 10 people, their instinct would be to run away as far away from the suicide vest as you can.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
And at some point,
he had the
clarity.
I mean, he had the cojones to save everyone else's life.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
JD said one of the worst attacks in Afghanistan that was in the sanctuary outpost in March. Dude, 2012, early 2012 was no joke in Afghanistan, dude. That 2011, 2012 deployment, that was Out of my 4, that was the absolute worst one.
Well, all of that, I have a buddy of mine that's 11 years Army, and he was in Iraqi freedom, and the stories he tells, I'm like, holy shit, dude. Holy shit. And he don't tell it to his wife, his kid. He tell it to me. And I keep the story. Yeah, thanks for sharing, brother.
One of the previous AARs, you guys told me you wanted to see more like actual footage from battle, right?
Yes.
And so I had to do some digging, trying to find some battle footage. Because I want to throw in at least one like live actual no shit battle footage each month. And you guys check this out. This is a lot of fun. Well, it's fun. It's fun for me, but I'm a little twisted in the head. Let's go.
In any talk about the most difficult place to serve in Afghanistan, the outpost Devoe on a mountain overlooking a key pass would be in the conversation. To control the road, you've also got to control the high grounds around the road, and this is, of course, one of the toughest outposts there is. These men are up here for 8 days at a time in extremely difficult conditions. We'll give you...
All right, you see their housing?
Yeah.
Like, this is
a little shack.
So
it's packing material.
No, I will explain this after the video. These are called HESCO walls. So HESCO is a company that makes these, which is like glorified chicken wire with like a burlap sack in it. You get a dozer, like a heavy equipment, to fill them with dirt, and you just put them in a line around a thing. So they're like a gigantic sandbag. That is a HESCO wall.
Well, it'll save you.
Right, and I'll talk about that in a little bit.
8 days at a time in extremely difficult conditions. We'll give you a look at what the living is like up here at 2,500 meters on top of this mountain. Sir, this is where people live. Tell me about what the conditions are like.
Well, as you can see, it's dark, it's cramped in order to provide the proper protection.
Taliban fighters tried to overrun the outpost before we arrived. This video, obtained by Fox News Channel, is from a U.S. Apache helicopter scrambled to counterattack. 14 Taliban fighters carrying automatic rifles, rocket-propelled grenades, and a mortar are found in tight formation with the Apache's night vision gun camera.
Listen to this
U.S.
bullshit.
forces have recently come under heavy criticism in Afghanistan for causing civilian deaths with indiscriminate air power. This raw combat footage with pilot commentary tells a very different story. Kalat is the word used for an Afghan house. With the Taliban fighters in his sights, the pilot checks if he can fire. Once, twice,
the current location, also approximate distance to the nearest Kalat.
3 times, 6 minutes have now elapsed since the escaping Taliban were sighted.
What's the approximate distance to the nearest Kalat?
4. 5.
That's about 200 meters per Kalat. At least, probably more than that.
6. After 6 checks on possible collateral damage, 10 minutes after first sighting the Taliban, permission is given to fire.
About fucking time.
Pause the gun and fire.
Thanks.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys. 2 guys learned out the water. Hey, Park.
U.S. ground troops,
All right, check
uniforms
this out.
lit up on the Apache's night vision camera, move in to finish the job. One Taliban fighter in the lower center of the screen blows himself up. Another fires at the U.S. soldiers on the ground, who launch a grenade.
Hold on.
The job. One Taliban
Look.
fighter in the lower center of the screen blows himself up. Another fires at the U.S. soldiers on the ground, who launch a grenade and finally shoot him.
Gushers!
After 42 minutes, the fight is over.
Oh,
0
love it.
U.S. casualties,
remember
at
the
least
candy.
14 Taliban fighters killed, and one more number, which seemed as or even more important to the pilots and the commanders during the engagement: 0 civilian casualties.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
eastern Afghanistan, Steve Harrigan.
Oh my goodness.
Good
That-
stuff.
That is an example of operational excellence right there.
Yes.
14 minutes to engage, though.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that comes up in that is that they've got positive identification of Taliban fighters that are fully armed. Every single person in that formation had a weapon, and they were so worried about their proximity to a kalat, which a kalat is a mud wall surrounding a house that could have just innocent civilians in it. And so they wanted to wait until they were 200 meters away, 2 football fields.
We also don't know when they were authorized.
Well, they didn't know what they were looking at. That's the other thing.
Also, I mean, like generally civilians don't travel in straight lines like single file.
No, generally, yeah. Because normal people talk to each other while they're walking.
Yeah.
But it was in the middle of the night. That's why it was all IR footage. It was in the middle of the night, and that's why they didn't know the Apache was there or whatever. But I love seeing the guy that blew himself up. That was just like fuck it, and then you see that one soldier do a textbook like picture frame perfect grenade throw and take that one dude out. I love that footage. But I talked to you guys about the HESCO walls. Just wanted to show you right quick.
So Mark, I actually had a question on those. So
Go
like,
ahead.
what level of firearm can those handle? Like up to what?
You can shoot an RPG right at this bad boy, and it's not going to go through because that's my dumbass right here.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Right, and this is my team. This is the Badlands of Afghanistan in 2007. This is in eastern Afghanistan, right outside the Korengal Valley. And look, so these are HESCOs, and these are just like giant sandbags. Like I said, big dumb sacks with wire around it, and they fill them with dirt. You put some wood on top of it with some sandbags and some camo netting or something, and then you live in there.
I never thought you could just fucking protect yourself with sandbags.
Fucking dirt, man. It's great.
Now, and then you start getting little friends like this guy right here. See this spider?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is like a
Chilling.
wolf spider if it was the size of a tarantula.
Mm.
That start making their homes in
Oh well, shit.
Lost him.
Oh, I kicked myself off. Okay. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah,
did I
well.
just kick somebody off screen?
No.
And it was myself. So, no shit. One of the guys that was in my team, actually, I can show him with that last one. Where is he? This guy, Beatty. So his last name is Beatty. Beaty, like whatever. Like Warren Beatty.
Yeah.
So sleeping inside that structure you saw standing in front of, one of those spiders crawled up on him while he was sleeping, and they have like an anesthetic or something in their venom, to where it started chewing on his lip, and he didn't feel the pain because it was numbing his lip while he was doing it. And so he woke up feeling like there was like just some like kind of massaging going on. and this big dumb spider was just fucking eating his face.
There you go.
And that's when you're going to bed after a night of going up and down the roads looking for bombs and bad guys all day. Like that, Afghanistan sucks, dude.
As if there wasn't enough nightmare fuel already.
Right.
Yeah. Jesus.
You're not going to hear that story everywhere.
No.
Yeah, I would need some heavy medication to fall asleep.
Yeah, we all would.
The wolf spider, camel spider.
I mean, I mean stronger than the shit I got around me. I mean,
I agree with you, Sean. I agree with you, brother.
Yeah, I have a hard time sleeping as it is. So yeah,
That's why-
spiders chewing on my face and fucking towel heads trying to shoot at me. I might need something stronger than whiskey to fall asleep. Sorry for phrasing. That was probably poor phrasing, but
no, it's which just brings us back to June is Men's Mental Health Month, and 22 a day is a real fucking thing because coming home after living like that every day is that transition is hard. But okay, so we have gone through honoring the fallen, talking about the Medal of Honor recipients from each conflict in the American Army history. And speaking of the American Army, look at that segue. So we're talking about current military news. We are on to current military news. Two things.
You're living it, brother.
Yep, absolutely. So hold on. Actually, you know what? Before I get to the 250th, I gotta do something else real quick. I just gotta give a little shout out, a little something. Where is it? Hold on. Bear with me.
Bear? Rawr.
Rawr. You goofball. Come on, I know you're in here somewhere. There you are. Okay. So before we get into the 250th anniversary, I want to just take a pause real quick and let you know that Army Coast Guard is now at 31%. Navy and Marines still leading the way with 36%. Air Force, Space Force at 26%. And other countries' military at 8%. Thank you guys for voting. Appreciate you much. But before I get into the fact that next weekend is the Army's 250th anniversary, I've got to talk about yesterday was the 81st anniversary of D-Day. And what was... So this video is like, what was D-Day? Let's talk about what D-Day was.
D-Day, World War II, June 6, 1944. By June 6, 1944, the Allies had landed 150,000 men in Normandy. The 5 beaches were secure, and the troops were pushing inland. The Allies had gained air and sea superiority. However, the landing forces were not as strong as they could have been due to limited landing craft and paratroop aircraft. To combat this, months of intensive air attacks were carried out against railway lines, roads, and bridges across France with the aim of making it difficult for the Germans to move reinforcements easily into Normandy. At the same time, a deception was in motion to convince the Germans that the Allies were planning to land further east in the Pas-de-Calais region. These strategies were both a success. Allied Supreme Commander, General Dwight D. Eisenhower, led 3 million men, 13,000 aircraft, 2,500 landing craft, and 1,200 warships. New equipment included 2 tank variants, the obstacle crossing tank and the bunker busting tank used on the Anglo-Canadian beaches. In addition to this, amphibious tanks were used by all attack formations. Follow-up formations would use the Mulberry Harbors with the fuel supplied by Pluto, standing for Pipeline Under the Ocean. The Germans were aware of an Allied invasion, but lacked any intel of where it would be coming from or its strength. Field Marshal Erwin Rommel commanded the German forces in northern France and believed that his only chance was to defeat the invading force before it got ashore. He wanted to spread his reserves along the coast so that they could attack the landing forces straight away, as the Allied air forces would make it difficult to redeploy more distant units. Rommel's superior, Commander-in-Chief West Field Marshal Gerd von Rundstedt, meanwhile wanted a strong central reserve that would be sent in once it was obvious where the main Allied landings were taking place. In the end, there was a compromise. Some reserves were near the Normandy coast, but were not allowed to be deployed without permission from Hitler. The landings. There were 5 landing areas: Utah and Omaha, which involved U.S. troops, and Gold, Juno, and Sword, which involved British and Canadian troops. 2 U.S. airborne divisions landed by parachute and glider inland from Utah, and 1 British airborne division on the east flank of Sword. They took most of their objectives and disrupted possible German counterattacks. On Omaha Beach, German resistance was the most fierce, with heavy Allied casualties. But by the end of the day, the beach was clear. Utah Beach was the easiest to clear, while the other 3 beaches were somewhere in between. It was important for the Allied troops to gain as much territory as possible, to make room for the follow-up forces. The inland advance later in the day, however, came up short of the D-Day objectives of Caen and Bayeux. There would be much harder fighting in the days to come. Subscribe to see more history videos. Get Simple History, World War II, out today.
Yeah, Roger, got it. So that was a quick 3-minute what the heck was D-Day, and I thought that was significant considering yesterday was the 81st anniversary of D-Day. So a quick little recap of what D-Day was, I felt was very appropriate for us to give it its due respect.
Yes, sir.
Mark, I was deployed 13 out of 21 years overseas, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me. I met my wife and a beautiful daughter. Dude, JD, I'm so happy for you, and thank you for your service, my friend. Good stuff. Speaking of, sounds like the National Guard is going to be busy across America with these riots. Well, we will see. We will see. I hope not. Because we don't need that again. All right, so the 250th anniversary of the freaking Army is next weekend.
From its founding in 1775, the U.S. Army has defended freedom. Older than the nation itself, the Army has been the shield of our nation, democracy, and way of life, standing strong through the battlefields of the past and challenges of today. Throughout our 250-year heritage, the courage and dedication of our brave men and women have shaped us into the world's premier fighting force. Inspired by the next generation of soldiers, we remain committed to modernization, lethality, and readiness to face tomorrow's threats. Join us in celebrating the Army's 250th anniversary, a multi-year campaign as we honor the past and embrace the future on installations around the world and throughout local communities across the nation. Together, we commemorate the Army's legacy, forged in the fires of conflict and defined by courage. The U.S. Army proudly served for 250 years. Established June 14, 1775. This will defend.
This will defend.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Don't listen.
Yeah, and wait, there's more.
Hey, Mark, I got to check out, buddy. Love you, man, but I'm going to sign off. Love y'all. Appreciate
appreciate you hanging out, Sean. I'll see you soon, buddy.
Yeah. Cheers, guys. Good night.
Night.
Night, Sean.
Cheers, fucker.
Next month on June 14th, when he hosts the 250th anniversary of the United States Army with a grand military parade celebration right here in our nation's capital. President Trump will be joined by veterans, active duty troops, wounded warriors, Gold Star families, and patriotic Americans from across the country to celebrate our heroes who have kept us safe. The president will further honor our military next month on June 14th when he hosts the 250th.
Okay, so that was the initial announcement of the parade. So there's going to be a parade next month.
We can still hear the video, Mark.
Thanks, Ben. So next Saturday, there's going to be a parade downtown Washington, D.C. of the 250th anniversary. And so that brought up the question to me, when was the last? Yes.
And this fucker's going.
Drink water.
And this guy's going.
Drink water.
Sir, yes, sir.
And so if any of you guys had the question like I did, when was the last time we had a parade? The Army.
Is that Storm and Norman?
Yeah. All right, so the last time the United States Army had a big parade was 1991 after the end of Desert Storm.
Yep, and I was in that one.
Oh, you were? You were one of those
Yeah, in
8,800.
Hell yeah.
You were one of those 8,800 troops.
Yep.
That's freaking awesome.
Mark, do you want to talk about it afterward? I was just wondering if you had any more info yet.
No, I'm going to talk about it.
Okay. No, I meant the full plans, but we could talk about that in the after party.
So this parade is going to be huge. It's going to be huge.
Huge.
And as Ben just said, I am going to not just be there. I'm going to be marching in the parade as one of the currently serving troops.
Oh, good for you.
I am leaving on Monday, and I'm going to be there all week. We're going to, of course, there's going to be some rehearsals and stuff like that going on. And I am honored because the units that got selected to be in the parade, they asked their unit who would like to go. And of the people that volunteered to go, of course, the command chose who was going to come. If you think of a brigade having over 1,000 people in the brigade, and the brigade, like when I looked at the lineup and stuff, this particular brigade would only have between 100 and 150 people there. In my section of about 60, 70 people, there's only 3 of us that are going. And so first you got to volunteer, and then you got to get selected. And so one of the videos that I thought was hilarious was a video of one of the trains carrying tanks from Texas to DC, where it's just, holy crap, there's a lot of tanks that are going to be rolling down the streets in Washington, D.C. So lots of heavy equipment is going to be rolling down the streets in DC. That's going to be freaking wild.
You think? That's pretty cool. Fucking cool.
Someone's gonna complain that you guys tore up the asphalt or something.
Oh yeah.
Those tanks are gonna fuck some roads up. I mean,
Deployed to Kuwait, Iraq, UAE, Poland, Lithuania, Kosovo, Afghanistan, and Germany. Crazy times. Yeah, dude. You're a stud, JD. I am happy to call you one of my friends.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Hold on, I'm just scrolling through chat real quick.
Yeah, let's see it.
Use. Hold on. I fell behind in chat a little bit. Just trying to catch up. Apache gunships. Oh, yeah. 18 months in Iraq. Dude, that would suck. Hesco walls have saved my life 4 times in Iraq. Yeah, dude, Hesco walls are fantastic. It's a giant freaking sandbag. They're great. I love them. 30 millimeters, sorry. Yeah. No, I didn't dip out again, Marvin. I dipped myself on accident. Did you pacify the pest? You know what? I don't know if he killed that spider or not. I don't remember. That was in 2007, dude. That was a while ago. That was a couple days ago. Those were coming from Texas, yes.
Fort Hood.
Mark, very honored you're going. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so you don't know anything about your schedule yet, right?
I actually found out that I'm gonna have a little bit more free time than I thought because the day
let's talk about that in the after party. Let's not isolate this.
Yes.
But if that's the case, my fat ass might drive down to DC. I'm just saying.
Dude, that'd be fun. Another piece of current military news that, of course, nobody is freaking talking about. Hurry up, commercials. Let's go. This is a dude. These YouTube playing their commercials is killing me. There's just one more piece of current military news that I wanted to talk about because I haven't heard about it at all anywhere. But then when I started searching for current military news that's happening right now, I stumbled across this and I was like, I was not tracking.
Hey, do you all remember when Mark couldn't get an hour out of a veteran stream?
I remember.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Hell yeah.
And Mr. Mom, yes, I saw Killeen. I was thinking Texas as well.
Yep.
Yes, those were out of Texas.
Quiet.
And accompanying infantry took posts along the US-Mexico border around El Paso. President Donald Trump has decided to make good on his promise to root out Mexican drug cartels, one of the main causes of friction in US-Mexico relations over the previous decade. To that end, moving military vehicles and increasing border security and surveillance will drastically curb cartel activity between the two countries. But what is the true extent of US involvement in fighting Mexican cartels, especially given they primarily operate within Mexico, where the US military can't go so easily? Why did the US military choose Stryker vehicles to bolster border security? And how will this reflect on the currently hectic US-Mexico relations? Stick around to find out on today's episode of The Military Show. Let's.
That's a Stryker, right? You can fit a whole squad in a Stryker, and it has a lot of updated new military gadgets, lots of surveillance stuff, and so that's why they chose that vehicle. And this video takes over 20 minutes to tell that to you. If you guys want to watch it, go ahead. But I'm telling you, that's what they say. But the key point is that I had not heard before that Stryker vehicles were getting put down at the military border to help combat cartels and drug trafficking and stuff like that. And so when they were talking about increasing border security, they're actually doing it. But you have to do some digging to find somebody that's actually talking about it. So that's just one piece of current history. So done talking about military news. Let's move on to your news. Ben, you shared with us the group that's bringing back remains from overseas, previous conflicts.
Yep.
Love what they're doing. Talked about current news for. Oh, we lost Troy, man.
Hey man, I can't wait till I can tell you that they brought him home.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I'll let you know.
Yeah. So the big thing for me is I finally got my move approved, going from a temporary GS contractor position to a permanent position. Is right now, like
what? That's fucking awesome.
They told me my first day would be the 15th, and I was like, I'm coming home from DC on that week, and so my last week at work, I'll be in DC for my last week.
But you're staying in the same position. You're just perm now.
I'm staying in the same position, but working for a different battalion.
Shit! I didn't realize you're literally. Yeah. I didn't know you were moving. I'm
moving to a different battalion, but it's in the same building that I'm working in right now.
Oh, all right. So you're getting a new office.
Yes,
but that's it.
And the other part of news we just talked about is that next week I'm going to be going to Washington, D.C. And one of the things that I think is going to be very unappreciated or underappreciated is that we are going to be living like in field conditions, but instead of doing field work, we're going to expect it to look super pretty, like look top tier and be marching in a parade.
Well, if I can get down there, you can use my place to get ready.
And what I'm talking about living in field conditions is I won't be able to do that. We have to stay in this building. We're sleeping on cots. They have bottled water, MREs. They have field showers contracted outside of the building. So I have to leave the building to take a shower, show my ID to Federal Protective Services to get back in the building, to go back to my cot.
I'm just saying, if I had a hotel nearby, you could still come by and get cleaned up there instead of doing that shit.
Maybe. Yes, so that means next week no live stream. Yes, because I'll be sleeping on a cot getting ready to march in the parade in Washington.
And if I can arrange it, I might be down there.
That'd be fun.
It's a haul, but I've done it before.
But does anybody else on the screen or anybody else in the chat have anything current news going on with you and yours that you would like to share with the community?
No. I can't give you anything bigger than I'm trying to bring my uncle home right now.
Oh, dude. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, good for that.
And pretty much is the only semi-abled man in my family to never have served, mostly because of the damage done to me by my dad's service. It is what it is, but that's why I'm here.
All right. Well, so to recap, the veteran whiskey of the month was Old Line Sherry Finish.
Yep.
Pouring it in my Old Soldier glass because Old Line hasn't sent me one of their glasses yet. So, Old Line, send me a glass and I'll pour your stuff out of your glass. But for now, pouring it out of one of my favorite veteran-owned local craft distilleries, Old Soldier. But this is Old Line's Sherry Finish, which was our featured veteran whiskey of the month. We honored the fallen. We talked about Medal of Honor recipients that happened in the month of June during almost every major conflict. Military news stuff going on with the 81st anniversary of D-Day and the 250th Army anniversary coming up next weekend, which is also on Flag Day. We talked about our news, things going on with us, and so the only thing left is the AAR. So anybody in the chat, anybody on the panel, if you want to say something that happened really well or something that we should do better next month when we do the first Saturday of the month Veterans live stream, open to any criticism or whatever.
Yeah, nothing, brother.
Tonight reminded me to check something. I got my delivery. Okay, so I handed off Dennis a Veterans whiskey flight, which reminds me, thank you so much, Dennis. I hope you enjoy the veteran whiskeys that I sent you. And that reminds me that I promised you guys at the beginning, if you were still here at the end, I'm going to throw your name in the chat. So while the panel or anybody else in chat is talking about anything we should do different, I'm going to be putting in names of people that I see that are currently still here with me or with us to put you on the wheel of names to win a veteran whiskey.
Why don't we make them put something in chat to show they're still here? Like
Right, you have to type something in chat for it,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Still here.
A little love. Show the military a little love, and you'll get entered. How about that? What do you think, Mark?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you got to put something in the chat so I know that you're here. And let's I don't know if we should have it say something specific.
No, still here or here.
Yeah, just say something.
Yeah.
Let me see. Congrats. That's fantastic. Good stuff.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh,
Yeah,
no live stream. Yeah, no live stream.
Yeah, no.
Here, say you're here.
Find out on today's episode.
Ooh, I lost it. There you are. So you guys go ahead and talk about AAR stuff while I'm putting this wheel together.
I don't know. This is kind of fucking. I mean, other than whatever was going on with the internet earlier, everything's fucking perfect as far as.
Yeah, it did settle down, which I was greatly appreciating.
Yeah,
You
I mean,
know?
other than that, I kind of got nothing, dude. It's going 2 hours now, where it used to go less than one. We got Medal of Honors. We've got current. We've got everything going on. You're honoring people that we've lost. I don't know. I don't really got nothing for you, other than I'll see you in July.
Roger that. Anybody else got anything?
Oh,
let's see. I got.
Sounds like you got a good format.
Cherry actually wants you to jump out of a plane while you're live, but
not gonna do that.
When the guy crashed into the ground earlier, I was muted, but I yelled out, "There's Jerry!"
All right, so I got Bourbon. I've got Richie Z. Dollar Bill is here. I don't.
Bowler's drinking his. Did you get Bowler's Remus barrel to his dad?
Yes, I did.
He said he's drinking it right now. There you go. Yeah, I might have one of those on the way as well.
Oh, Baller's still here. Good to see you, Lee.
Hey, Neo's here. Cheers, Neo.
I quit my job in April and relaxed bored now.
Yeah, he's bored, so why not get deployed again?
All right, so I got West Virginia Bourbon Guy, Orlando, JD, Richie Z, Bourbon, Whiskey Edition, Dollar Bill. Who else is here that I'm missing? Oh, of course, I got to put Jerry Black,
Richie Z,
and Z Man. I
Z-Man.
got
Damon Hunter.
CJP.
I can't send him whiskey.
CJP.
He is out of the company. CJP is still here?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you get Neo? Neo Celestia?
Negative. Oh, there you go. Cheers. I got it.
She comes from the We Ain't Raised Right podcast. Otherwise,
oh, yes.
Yeah,
Good
otherwise,
to see you. I'm glad
one
you're
of
here.
Older Smashes stream.
Right.
She must be real. This is a better neighborhood than my channel. She even showed up on my channel this week. Mark didn't, but you know.
I said hi.
Hi.
I told you I do family stuff on Friday nights.
Hey, man. Zero argument.
Yeah.
Oh, don't have. Oh, she's in Canada too. I forgot.
Okay. Oh well, she said if she wins, send it to Ogre. So I mean, it lands on you. All right.
And Ogre's got some shit going on now too, so you can probably
I'm not available. So let's see. Let's go to share. Bring the wheel up. There's a lot of more people that are watching live that did not see
people, if you want to be entered, say something in chat, anything.
And I will send you a flight of veteran-owned whiskeys.
No. Give it to spin it again, because I know you'll send me shit anyway.
Okay.
I mean, not that I won't take it, but I'm literally drinking a sample you sent me right now. There you go.
Richie Z.
There you go.
Good deal.
Nah, spin. You know, me and Mark and me go back and forth enough that I ain't worried about that. Oh, what up, Clint? What's up, my brother from another mom?
Clint Hickey's in the house. What's up, Clint? Good to see you, man.
Love that dude.
So, Richie Z, just send me an email at northwestbourbon@gmail.com or send me your address on Instagram. I know we're on Instagram together and stuff like that. Just send me an email. I'll send you a flight of veteran-owned whiskeys.
Hey, Orlando, did that hand delivery go out yet? You know which one I'm talking about. Orlando, I just want to know if that hand delivery went out. Not this way, but that way. Did it go that way yet? Might be up to no good.
In the hood, always up to no good. Let's see. We covered everything on the agenda for tonight. And last but not least, we are going to sign out with taps. As soon as I can pull it up over here.
Orlando leaving Tuesday or Wednesday, or arriving Tuesday or Wednesday? Packing. All right. 10-4.
And Richie's there. There we go. Good. Yeah, just shoot me a message, buddy. I am relaxed to be my decision of life. Yeah. Yeah. About going to Oman. Good luck with that decision, because that's a big deal, man. That's a big deal. Just
that's not exactly a party.
No, not at all. So just let us know what you do so we can celebrate with you in any way that we would appropriately do so. But for now, we are going to sign off with taps as we do every month. I just want to let you guys know, thanks for joining. Look in the video description to join Warriors and Whiskey and the Veterans Whiskey Club. And we will see you guys next month. Remember to drink more water than you drink whiskey, and to be a good influence on those within your sphere of influence. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.